Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom video bulletin. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In my continuation of covering Skyrim and all the issues that have been brought about by the 1.20 patch that now we are wondering if the 1.21 patch has fixed or not, this is nothing special. This is simply me testing the mods as I came across some new issues. Now, I do not know if I'm going to leave this footage uncut or cut it down, because right now, according to SHAREfactory, this is going to be 54 minutes long, and I highly doubt anybody wants to sit through 54 minutes of me testing a few mods that I was having trouble with. I don't know, it could be helpful, so I might leave it as that. I could try to cut the footage down to just when I was testing them, but honestly, when I find an issue, I kind of just keep on it until I either find out what is causing it, or hopefully find a solution. And if I cut the footage, part of what I did would be lost, so I don't know. I hate bringing videos this long because I kind of feel like I'm wasting your guys' time, but I do know there's a lot of people wondering if the 1.21 patch is safe, and these issues that I'm going to show in this video are new ones that I did not come across on my initial time of playing on the 1.21 patch. Right now, what I am doing is going into the mod loader and finding a mod to disable, the same one that I enabled earlier. There was nothing wrong with it. Julia's texture overhaul, I think it was. I don't remember what the name of it was. It was a new mod that was just recently uploaded, this one. The reason I'm disabling it is because before the 120 patch, actually, whenever I would change something in here, either turn it on or off, add or remove something, it was 100% guaranteed it would crash on me. And that wasn't because of the 120 patch. That was because of Sony's latest firmware update at that time. After the 1.20 patch, then I did have the initial issue of, which of course it didn't give me here. I was kind of hoping it would. Any other time I wouldn't want it. But you guys will know when you try to load the mod page, and it will say that it times out and wants you to auto-populate the email, that crap. Normally when it does that, I simply back out of the menu, go back in and out until it lets me in. However, after the 120 patch, if you guys saw the one video that I uploaded, you'll know that it would lock up on that screen and wouldn't let me be able to quit out. I'd have to quit out the app, then reload the game, wait for it to load, only for it to do it again. Luckily, Chuck Norris was able to fix that for me, so I no longer had to look at a loading screen. Anyways, this is the first issue I came across as soon as I came into the game. Lydia was kind of glitching out there. She's never done that before, and she didn't do it on the initial time. This was, and she also did that, but she has done that. She just appears, you know, sometimes gets around you. But she had never done that to me before, and had not done it on the previous patch. I'd come in here after I was done testing yesterday to force an autosave, and I did listen to these folks' conversation for a little bit just to see what they were saying. But that was far from the last one that I found. Some mods that were working fine this morning after I first downloaded the 1.21 patch, I was having issues with now, and that is what I'll be showcasing in this. Again, if I do keep this uncut, there will still be a few times that you see a sudden kind of like a shift in the footage, like it stops and starts again. That is not the game doing that. That is because at certain points I would go ahead and save the footage that I had so I didn't lose it, because if I were to crash, I would lose what had happened once back on the XMB, because once I'd go back into the game, it would override that footage. Or if I had tested, which this almost was 54 minutes, this was almost an hour's worth of testing, after an hour it will reset the footage. So if you see a cut like that, that is the reason why. That is not the game doing that. that is me saving that footage. This was me at first just testing some mods I hadn't tested before, like this weather changing mod, to see if it was working. But the next issue I came across was Lydia was not acting correctly. I was checking her different things, being able to see if she would still give money from the store that she runs and different things of that nature. But I have a mod that I can spawn a horse for me to be able to ride, and because I have another mod, it will actually go ahead and summon one for her. Now, I decided this time, instead of my divine horse that I normally use, I would conjure the ghost horse. And here's where I come across my first issue that I initially did not know if it was because of using a different horse or not. Normally, when I get on this, her horse that I have set for her will appear and she will get on it. However, as you can see here in the footage, she's just walking away from the horse. She will not mount it. She has never done this before. She's acting like she's been dismissed. I checked her to see if she was dismissed, but she was still my follower, and she stopped when I talked. So I then decided to try getting on the horse again, which will make her horse always appear. Anytime I do that, the mod that is for the followers, their horses will appear. But as you can see, she is refusing to mount it, and again, acting like she's dismissed, just calmly walking away like they do when you dismiss them. So this was an issue I did not come across this morning when I first downloaded the patch. I was using my divine horse at that time. That's the one that is set in my quick menu, but I, for whatever reason, decided to try a different horse this time, and as you can see, I was having issues. She would just keep walking away from me even after talking to her, and then she just all of a sudden disappeared. I couldn't find her at first, so I tried summoning her to me. This was completely unexpected. And I'm not the only one that is having new issues with this. I've seen in the comments section, I might as well go over this real quick. And you guys are going to be hearing my heater kicking on again because I am not cutting the audio either. Those of you wondering if... here's the next issue. I'll get to that in a minute. She's never done this before either. I use my magic to get her to me all the time if she gets behind, and she's never spawned into the ground like this. And I don't know what caused this. I don't know if this is because of the horse, if this is because of the patch, or what. Obviously the issues that's going on with it, but she's never done this. I could not get her out of the ground. I think I ended up getting her to finally spawn back up top when I came over here up to a higher area and tried summoning her. Yeah, but doing it up there, she kept spawning into the ground. So she was definitely not acting like herself, which is why I noticed. And so, as I stated earlier, again, this is nothing exciting because I didn't get to test a lot of mods. I worked on the ones that I found were causing issues and just kept on them till I either figured out what was causing it or hopefully, you know, solved it. So I don't have a lot that I can show you, but a little bit here. So I was testing to see if I could get her to walk every now and then. I decided to check to see if her horse actually was hers. You'll see that I'm now encumbered. That is because I have a Triforce ring that I've showcased in another mod video that is a God mode ring, but it does a lot more than that. It makes it to where I never become over encumbered. And I also have another mod you'll see popping up time to time telling me that I am over encumbered, wanting me to open an urn. That is a portable storage that I always have access to. But I equipped her, I equipped the follower ring for the horses to see if she was still actually assigned to that horse, and she is, because I thought perhaps it unassigned her, because some of the other mods with the 120 patch, like Dragonblood Castle, it reset them. But as you can see, she still refuses. She will not get on the horse no matter what, and acts like she is being dismissed. Except for she isn't. When I talk to her, it doesn't show that she's dismissed, but that's the way she is acting. So real quick, what I was going to say before that You can always tell these are uncut and that I'm not a professional, guys, because I'm all over the place. But those of you wondering, 9 minutes in, if the 0KB glitch is still in the game, yes.
Hello, my love.
It is 100% still in the game. The patch did not fix that. Bethesda did state that this patch was supposed to fix black screen, and I went through the comment section. There was a lot of comments in there, so it took me a while before coming into the game. But when I checked, a lot of you are reporting the same thing. You still have 0KB. So if you're somebody that suffered from 0KB, I've just put up the most recent one I did on 0KB that maybe can help. Now here she finally went ahead and mounted the horse. I think I had her dismiss the horse and then call it back. I don't know. I know I did that later on, but I wasn't actually paying attention to the footage right there. But I was checking and she was finally riding it, but it was not the end of the issues. But a lot of you stated that you still have 0KB. I put up the most recent thing dealing with what might be a good workaround for 0KB. I decided to summon another horse to see if this was causing her the issue. I got attacked here, but she got it real quick. She does always have my back. Thank you, Lydia. The issue is, once I got on the horse, she once again disappeared. Then the horse disappeared and then reappeared. Then she reappeared by it, but then, again, as you can see, walked away. She has never done this in all the time that I've had that mod. Even with the 120 patch, she did not do this, which did have me pretty worried. I thought I might have to delete that mod, and I really like it. I decided to dismiss her because she keeps doing that. I thought maybe that was the issue, and then I'd take and have her come back to me, because I didn't know what was causing it. And my troubleshooting methods is, when I come across an issue like this, I will check things one by one till I figure out what is going on. I thought perhaps her AI isn't functioning correctly. I'm also resummoning the horse to recreate the circumstances of her messing up. This time summoning the divine horse to see if she will mount the horse. And as you can see, she has a little bit of trouble running to it, but she is trying to mount the horse. This was after I dismissed her and then had her come back as a follower. So I thought initially that's all it was. However, after riding away a little bit, I found that it wasn't. So, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but the 0KB glitch is still in the game. The patch was supposed to fix black screen, and from what I've seen in the comments, the majority of you are saying that it did indeed fix black screen. However, there are some of you still saying that you're experiencing issues with that. That might be that you're going to have to revert to an older save. I honestly can't say at this point. You know, everything is so different for everybody and changing so fast constantly. It's very hard to keep up. Also, the information that is out there isn't hardly any, and so it's very hard to try to give you guys reliable information. I try to make certain what I bring you is as reliable as it possibly can be. Nothing that you ever see on this channel is going to be 100% accurate, and that's simply because I'm not a professional by any means, but I always do try to be as open and honest with you guys as possible. And so, as you can see here, she's once again doing it. She is, for whatever reason, she will not get on the horse and acting like she is being dismissed.
Let's get going then.
I don't remember rightly when I decided to do it, but I have a horse set up for Serena as well. So I thought that might be the issue, and I went over to get Serena and have them both with me. Usually, Lydia is the only one with me. The reason for that is, and I don't know, it could end up causing trouble in the future if ever I play again, but multiple follower system, before I originally had it installed just by itself, would cause issues when trying to play during the Winterhold storyline. When the monsters, hopefully this is not spoilers for anybody, but when the monsters would invade the town, it would always crash on me. And so I ended up deciding that I would take and Now here I am dismissing her horse and trying to reassign it to her. Again, I don't know, so I'm trying to figure out if I need to do a combination of either dismissing her and her horse as well,
I'll
or
head back
what.
home if you need me.
So that's what I did here. I dismissed her, I removed her horse, then I wanted to have
Hello,
her
my
come
love.
back as my follower
Some
and
adventure
reset it.
ahead.
I thought perhaps there was some glitch, you know,
Lead the
with
way.
either her as a follower or the horse, and by doing both, that would fix the issue, which it also did not at the current time. I believe why eventually I figured out is because both of them having horses. But anyways, multiple follower system, I ended up deleting it, and that was only I was able to complete that storyline to do with Winterhold. Well, I have since re-downloaded it, adding in a patch to make the followers essential because it removes their essentialness. I also moved where it was in my load order damn near all the way down to the bottom, so that would be one of the last things loading. Now, as far as the story that I have done since then, I haven't had any issues with it, but I do not know if I could indeed have those issues later on. As you can see, what I just did no good. She still will not mount that horse. And so, I do have it active again. Then I found that she did that. If you see what she did just then, she walked away and then appeared on the horse, then dismounted it because I did, and then got on it. So I started to figure out I was on the right track. I, at that point, wondered, when she's walking away like she's being dismissed, if I give her enough time, would she by chance go ahead and spawn on the horse and catch up? Now, she's never done that before. Normally, she will just get on the horse. I'll either wait for her, or even if I don't and I ride ahead a little bit, she'll get on the horse and follow me. Now, if I get off the horse and I'm way ahead of her, she gets off wherever she's at the same time, so I usually do wait for her. But that was the start of kind of trying to figure out what was causing this issue. That, again, I didn't have this morning when I was first messing around with this patch. But the multiple follower system is also giving her more AI, so I thought that could have something to do with it because she does have more independence than she would have without it. As you see, now she's mounting the horse. Again, I don't remember exactly when it is. It might be right now. Yeah, it's right now that I decided to go over to, I thought perhaps the issue, because I thought it's going to be a pain in the ass if every time I want to resummon the horse, she won't mount it and stuff. So I went over to get Serena and see if she was doing the same thing, see if they both needed to have their horses dismissed or exactly what, and that's when I come across the next issue, which was really something I've never seen Lydia do before. You'll see it here in a bit. She fast traveled with me just fine, and she was still my main follower. I used the MFS to set Serena as what is an MFS follower 1, even though it's technically follower 2. And I also have additional slots for MFS that it doesn't have if you don't get, I don't remember if it's a scroll or something, but I have additional slots for it. I never use all those slots though, because again, the point that I was trying to make was Lydia is almost always the one with me, except for when I was doing the Dawn Guard DLC, and I did have Serena with me at that time while Lydia stayed at home with the kids.
Another adventure.
So, anyways, like I said, guys, this is just me uncut. I'm gonna be all over the place. Like I said, I'm not a professional. So, here's the issue. Look at what Lydia is doing. She has never done this in my game at all. I didn't know what was going on here. I didn't know if it
Still
was
here.
because I thought if I talked to her, it might snap her out of it.
Keep
It
going,
didn't. I thought if I walked away, maybe she'd unglitch and stuff. But as you can see, she's freaking the hell out. I thought it must have been because I got Serena as a follower as well. I tried summoning them both to me, and I don't remember if... Yeah, hello, Lydia. That's not normal, even for you.
Yes.
So I think I dismissed her
All right then.
because I
Lead the
thought
way
that might
then.
be what caused this, which again is something that's never happened, even with the 120 patch.
I'll head
And I
back home if
dismissed
you need me.
her as well because it didn't fix her. Now she is walking
Hello, my
fine.
love. Back from some adventure, I bet.
But when I talk to her, see how she's jittering? So at this point, I really didn't know what to do. I went ahead and I selected her again. But as you can see, she's still having the same issue. I did try to summon her again to see if I could knock her out of it. But she's still glitched. And like I said, she has never done this. This had me really worried that she was hurt in some way. So I fast traveled off elsewhere to see if it would fix her. And I do believe it did. It stopped the glitch. And I changed up how I did it because I still needed Serena with me. I needed to reset both of their follower horses, but I changed how I got Serena to follow as well so that this would not reoccur. I don't know if it was because of getting Serena in the castle as a follower and then leaving out if it occurred, but as you can see now Lydia is okay, thankfully. I felt bad when that happened to her because I caused it. Luckily she's alright now. So that was the next issue that I was trying to figure out, and I hadn't figured out the horse one yet. I do test mods all the time, and I know how unpredictable they can be. So I take precautions when I'm doing this. So, you know, any of you that are watching and think that, oh well, you'll just, you know, keep doing this until you figure it out. If you're someone that's new to this, you gotta be careful. You do have to know what you're doing. And I don't claim to be, I'm not an expert in this. Now you see she's okay. I'm not an expert in this. I know some about modding, but not as much when it comes to Skyrims. But I take precautions with this. So that way I can revert back if I need to a previous save that the issue wasn't there. Now as you can see she's okay, so I decided this time I'd use a different mod I have, which is a tracking and summoning mod that I actually just activated not too long ago during the 120 patch. And the reason for that is so that I could get Serena without having her in the castle, because she I don't know where she is at this point, but I thought that could cause Lydia to mess up again, and I needed to see if it was simply possibly from being in here and doing it, or if it was for getting Serena to be a follower. So what I'm doing here is using another spell I have, which I can set to track a target so I can find them wherever they're at, but that's not all it will do. I already had one on Rashad set so that I could track him when I needed it for the Saints and Seducers. So I just set it on Serena, but I did not set her as my follower here. I went ahead and went back out the castle because I also wanted to see, once leaving the castle but only having Lydia with me, would Lydia glitch out again. So once we loaded back out here, as you can see, Lydia is perfectly fine. She's not glitched, she's not down in the ground or anything. And the reason that I set that spell on Serena was so that I could get her out here. And Serena, sorry for pulling you out in the sunlight, but, well, your hood protects you. I can summon a tracked target. So by doing this, I was able to get Serena to me and then set her up as my follower here. And that way I could see if once she became a follower, if Lydia would start glitching out. I made certain I set her back in the exact same slot that I had before. And this time, as you can see, Lydia is fine, as well as Serena. I didn't want any harm coming to either of them. So I decided I needed to get my ring back on, which of course will over-encumber me again. But I want to clear both of their horses, because before I was only clearing Lydia's and the problem kept happening. Took me a minute to find the ring because I forgot what it was called and where it was at. But I can't clear Serena's horse unless she's my follower. So that's why, now that I'm over encumbered, I also cannot move very fast. That's why I'm walking so slow. So after clearing both of them, I went ahead and dequipped it and re-equipped the ring to check, because it will bring up the list when I do that, and I can see that nobody is set to owning a horse. Now I want to set her as the main person on slot 1 for a horse, and I did get a confirmation. And then I want to do the same for Serena. I'm probably not saying her name right. I never say names right.
What is it?
It's probably Saria, actually. But any case,
Nothing else?
so I set it for her. Now, as you can see, it popped up there, but I didn't notice it at the time, so I took it off of there and then gave it back to her because it didn't pop up there the initial time. Now that they both have the horse, I'm going to, again, once I re-equip my Triforce ring, attempt to see if I can get them to ride their horses without any issues. To do that, though, I wanted to go into an open field, so I didn't spawn it here. Before I left, though, I just wanted to check if going in and out of the castle is what caused Lydia to glitch out now that they are both my followers. So I checked to see if they were following me and if they were walking normal, which they are, and then I left right back out. This is, well, like I said, guys, this is nothing exciting because you're going to be staring at uncut load screens, and we're going on 26 minutes now currently. As you can see, though, now she is fine. So what exactly caused the issue of her glitching out, I can't say for certain. I am testing just to make certain and stuff, and whoop! Also should watch where I'm going. Anyways, but what I suspect caused it, and again, this is just a theory, is that possibly because, for one, the horses, they're not working correctly right now, and Serena's hadn't been cleared yet, and by getting her into the castle, having her as a follower there, I think that's what caused Lydia to glitch out like she did. And honestly, again, if I'm pronouncing Serena's name wrong, I can't remember exactly what it is, and SHAREfactory shrinks it down, so I'm not really seeing it when it is up there, but just forgive me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. It's just like when I pronounce your guys' names. I know 9 times out of 10, I'm probably doing it wrong. It ain't on purpose. But otherwise, I know I'll have somebody in the comments saying, that's not how you say her name. Anyways, I wanted to come to an open field to be able to get the horses and see if they would go ahead and mount the horses like they're supposed to. Because now we're back on that issue since we were able to solve, at least for the time being, Lydia's problem. Now, of course, both of their horses will spawn. I decided to use the Divine Horse since that is my main horse and what I normally use to test to see. Now, they did have a little bit initial. Lydia wasn't going to get her horse, but then she did. They had a little bit of trouble navigating as to which was their horse, but as you can see, they both did mount it without any problem that time. So I did go ahead and ride off a little bit, because again, I wanted to recreate. Anytime I'm troubleshooting, I will recreate the circumstances that I came across the issue and see if doing the same similar things after changing some things, if it makes a difference or not. And while I'm doing this, because I just do want to say that I appreciate all your guys' comments and stuff, and I really want to thank you to those of you that let me know that I have been a help to you and stuff. That really means a lot. I'm glad that I could be a help, even if it was a small help. Again, as I've said before, though, you know, I'm far from alone in this. You guys were all right here with me throughout all of this and continuing to be, and it is us together that is getting this game to work for everybody, or at least that what we are trying to do. And for the few people that do, there's not many at all, but for the few people that do like to criticize me, I got one about the 0KB issue on a very early video that I uploaded about that. The thing that I'm always honest with you guys, is until the 120 patch, I'd never even heard of the 0KB issue. I've never had it. I still have never had it, and I hope I do not. I'm trying to be careful to make certain I don't. But, you know, everything that I'm learning it from you guys. Now here, as you can see, my horse now won't spawn, which has never happened. So, this is also something new at 120. But, excuse me, 121. But it did spawn here, so it could have just been the particular area. I don't know. I couldn't figure that one out. But, any case, so I am, you know, still learning about it, as well as several other issues, you know, from you guys and the research that I'm doing. The information in the videos on this channel is never going to be 100% accurate, because I'm not a professional, by no means. I'm no different than you guys. I'm a gamer. That is it. I'm not even a real YouTuber. I upload stuff. I started this. I wasn't even the one that started this channel. My girlfriend started this channel. The very first video, which I do believe was Uncharted, that was her upload. The second video on this channel was mine, thanking her for something that she got for me in GTA. And then after that, I started uploading a few videos for her. And a couple of people somehow found me. So then I started uploading videos that I thought were either helpful or might give them a laugh. And then some more people started finding me, and I kind of continued doing that. And before you know it, I had more people finding me, and I didn't know how they were finding me. But I started uploading then stuff for mainly to do with, because again, as I've said before, I'm not a Skyrim channel. I'm not a GTA channel or a Red Dead. I am a whatever I decide to upload on this channel. But I decided to upload, which a lot of my uploads are to do with GTA and Red Dead, because that's what I play a lot. And eventually what will be on this channel again. And I do hope, though, that if those games aren't something that you're interested in, that you will still, you know, stay around and stuff. I understand, though, if you don't, if Skyrim is the only thing you're interested in. But I just want to say, Skyrim is not going to be the only thing that I am always playing on this channel. Again, I'm teleporting to different places and trying to recreate the circumstances of what happened originally to see if they don't want to mount the horse. And also using different mods, because originally I think I had set up rain, and that's when Lydia first was starting to have the issue. So I'm just, again, trying to recreate circumstances now with both of them, with completely new horses that were set to them. But anyways, getting back to the channel. So I started then uploading stuff that I thought either could help people, like stuff that I knew in GTA and stuff, or just stuff to maybe give somebody a laugh and brighten their day. And whether it does or not, I don't know, but I always hope that it does. And then we come to the 1.20 patch. I hadn't even uploaded anything to do with Skyrim in quite a while. When I got the 120 patch, I had the issues that I stated in the video. I'm not going to go over it again, because those of you who have been with me for a while, you know what issues those were. But I had those issues, and I decided to upload a video warning about that. I didn't know it was going to be nearly as severe as what it turned out to be for you guys. Because while I definitely had issues with crashing and stuff not working right, I was still able to play. I didn't get 0KB or black screen and things like that. And for a lot of you, it was a lot worse, which I am so sorry to hear that it was a lot worse for you. But something told me there was something up when, after I uploaded that video, just letting people know about it and what I encountered and what I did after encountering it, which was more or less what I always do, because I'm stubborn. If it doesn't, I just keep trying until it works. And that's what I did, and I uploaded the video. And it was no time at all until it had gotten a ton of views, comments, which I have never had the amount of comments on this channel that I've had within this last week. And I've been doing my best to try to keep up. Now you see Lydia is doing it again, so I wanted to follow her this time and see, will she eventually get on that horse? Will she spawn on it? or just what is she doing? Because Serena went ahead and spawned fine, so I decided to ride away a little bit and see, will she, with out of my line of sight, will she spawn on it? And to my surprise, that is what she did. She was further behind, but she spawned on it. So I think after this point they finally started to act normal again, but I'll get back to what I was saying in a minute. But the conclusion that I did come to here is that she's not going to act the same way as she did before this latest patch with the horse. So something in the patch is affecting it. It might have to be updated. But the troubleshooting method worked, that if she doesn't mount the horse, instead of sitting there fighting with her to try to get her to mount it, if I just go ahead and ride away from her a little bit, hopefully she'll spawn on the horse and catch up with me. It seems to have worked for now. If that changes, now you see she's mounting it like she's supposed to. They both are. If that changes, I'll say so in an update, either just in a comment or in a video along with some other issues. But that seems to have, for now, fixed or at least put a band-aid on the problem. So if you are somebody that had this mod, that's why I didn't want to cut all this. As you can see, if I did go in and cut just to the points that I was doing the troubleshooting, you wouldn't have seen all the other stuff I was doing in between, and that could have part of the reason why it started working better with what I was doing or not. And so I didn't really feel right cutting it. Again, I know it's a long video. So, getting back to what I was saying, I started getting a ton of comments, more than I've ever gotten on this channel, because even if you go back and look at some of the GTA videos, I might have several comments on them, but that was not all in one night or in a few hours. That was over weeks or months of those videos being up that they finally got up. And then you guys all found me, and I have a lot of interaction in the comments section. But I enjoy all of it, guys, and I do thank you for your comments. I will say, and there's the next thing, my teleport wasn't working. I do believe the only reason this is I wasn't close enough. There is a limit to how far it can go, but it can go a lot further than people think. If you go too far, you will hit a load screen every time, like I do here. But so I don't think that was an issue because of the patch, but in case you were wondering. But I started getting a lot of comments about how broken it was for people. And so when I seen that, I tried to stop any more of you that I could, hoping you would see the warning, and I put up that warning video. And since then, more and more of you have continued to find me, not only from our own PlayStation community, but our friends in the Xbox community. A lot of you have found me too, and I'm solely a PlayStation 4 user, and I'm assuming the reason why that is, and from what I have seen in some of the comments, is nobody was covering this. Nobody was trying to help you. That is part of the reason why I've been doing my damnedest to try to keep on top of this. Again, not really knowing how much help that I can be, and I hated having to upload what if videos and possible fixes. I try to make certain it isn't clickbaiting, but I kind of feel that's the way it is. Sometimes I make certain to word it in there that it's a possibility, that there's a good chance it's not going to work. But the game was so broken, that's the only thing I can do, because everybody had so many issues that I myself don't have, so it's not like I can recreate it and say, well, hey, this is what I do,
I'm right behind you.
So I was just trying to do the best that I could to be able to get you guys some help, and also pull you guys together. Because like you in the Xbox community, I was going through your comments in the channel pages and stuff one by one, trying to make certain that I got everybody. And I'll tell you, friends, that is exhausting when you have a lot of comments. And also, if you're somebody that you did comment with a question or an issue and you never got a response from me, I am truly sorry. It was not because you were ignored. I found as I continued doing that, going in, pulling some of your saves, or not saves, I was looking at the menu and I said save, some of your comments, trying to save them, that there were some that I were never alerted to. It didn't alert me in bell notification. It did not alert me in the further channel comments and mentions. And some of you didn't even appear in. A lot of you, Max Storyteller, for example, kept showing up in held for review, even though there was no reason for you to be in there. And when I would find you in there, I would pull you out and put you back on the page where you belong, so that you would be able, your comment could be seen by others, you know, for your issues. But I know a lot of you Xbox people, from doing that, going in the comments on each page each night, that at the time at least, I don't know how many of you actually have now, but at the time at least, that I did go ahead and dismiss Serena at this point because I was satisfied with the horses, but I wanted to bring her home because I didn't feel right just leaving her out there, you know. At any rate, that you were far and few in between and weren't able to communicate with each other real well. Some of you didn't know if you were having issues on, like, say, the Xbox One, for example, and at the time, I didn't know anything, so I couldn't really tell you. And then, unfortunately, you'd go ahead and update and then had the issues. So I had first set aside a pinned comment section for you guys on a particular video and went through again one by one trying to locate the Xbox players specifically and link you to that pinned comment. I figured that might be the best way that you'd easily be able to group up with each other and discuss issues that you were having, what potential fixes that you might have had, because that was really the best that I could do for you. I want to help you, but I've never owned an Xbox in my life, so I'm not able to, you know, give you really any kind of advice, except for what little advice maybe I can research and find, and even that I don't know if it's, you know, good advice. And I don't want to give somebody advice that could be harmful or cause them more issues. The unfortunate thing about that pinned comment section was, I guess I didn't state well enough that you guys were supposed to use that, because nobody ever uses those damn things. They do once in a while, but no one was using it. So my next step was setting up, that you might have seen, a video that is solely aimed at you, that unfortunately doesn't have any help as far as what's in the video, but it was for the page. I figured if you guys went to that page, you would easily be able to find each other instead of having to search through the sea of PlayStation 4 comments, and again, would be able to get issues and all that. Here I'm going to stop real quick and say I'm testing now the Dreamweaver. I want to use it to travel over to Solstein, because another issue I had with the 120 patch, and what somebody else said in the comments, was they got stuck over in Solstein. It was on the infinite loading screen. That happened to me too. One thing I can say is, if you have the Dreamweaver mod, also what you're seeing here with the Dreamweaver, this is not because of the patch, and this is because of a different mod that I may or may not keep, that unfortunately it adds Area to Solitude, and it's a nice mod, but it also adds this into the Dreamweaver because they're in the same area. The ship is still functional, and I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it yet, but just to clarify so that you know. But if you guys have the Dreamweaver, I will tell you that ship, she has a permanent spot in my load order. Not only do I love this ship, but she is the reason I was able to get out of Stolstein. I originally tried to use the vanilla NPC. That didn't work. I was stuck over there. Once I went over there, I went over there for a miscellaneous mission the other night while I was testing the game, and I got stuck, like I said, on infinite load screen. Then I tried using the main map, the overhead map, to teleport, because I can do it at this point in the story, to teleport over there. That didn't work either. The only thing that allowed me to get over there was I went on the outside deck. I didn't go inside the ship like I am now, on the off chance it would cause the infinite load screen again. But I went to the outside deck, and I used the map that is up by the helm, if that's what's called on a ship, I don't know. At any rate, by the wheel up there, which I believe takes you to Solitude, if I'm not mistaken, and that got me unstuck. So it was thanks to Dreamweaver. So that's a little tip for you guys if you have Dreamweaver. Now, if you don't have Dreamweaver and you install it, it is, I think, a fairly big mod, so you need to watch the data cap, because you can hit 0 KB, unfortunately, since it's still around. You gotta be careful of that. And also, the initial time that you install Dreamweaver, you need to get the mooring slips for it. I have a video showcasing the Dreamweaver and where the mooring slips are on the channel if you're interested. but I do not know. Those mooring slips are for you to get to the inside of the ship, so I don't know if you would need them for the outside to travel just to here. But also, I set it up in Solitude originally, so I don't know if it would spawn in Raven Rock. But airwise, that's a little tip for you. Airwise, the only air thing you could try to do if you're stuck like that would be to try to use a older save, preferably a manual one, from before you came over to Solstein to get out of that issue. But I wanted to, and I couldn't initially because that NPC, okay, I'm going to admit it, I was being an asshole here because he yelled at me because I ran by him, so now I'm being an asshole. To an NPC, yes, that's how I am. So, at any rate, none of the NPCs are on the ship that I need to be able to travel back, and I was going to advance day. I thought, well, it's because it's nighttime, but I had some enemies, because of course they decided to show up, and I couldn't advance time, so you're caught up on that. But at any rate, so that might be a way that you can get around it, but I'm going to say that again, the Dreamweaver, she's an amazing ship, and she's got a permanent spot in my load order. And she is what got me out of Solstein. But yeah, of course I'm testing stuff and enemies decide to show up. But that's okay, because I need to test stuff on you assholes too, so. In any case, so again, I'm all over the place here. All I know, you guys have all left by now, and here I am by myself, talking to myself, and that's chaos theory. Dr. Ian Malcolm reference there. Any rate, so you Xbox users, I set you up that other page, and you still weren't getting a lot of help. A few of you did comment, and there have been some since I've been trying to help, and I'm very grateful to you guys for that. But definitely check that page out for issues. I'm hoping with this patch that you guys at least don't have your black screen issue, and 0KB, that is a PS4, perhaps PS5, I don't know, but that's a Sony issue. Now, I believe that 0KB and black screen both stem from the same thing, so I would have thought when the patch fixed the black screen issue, as it seems to have for a lot of you, it would have fixed that too. But again, this is coming from somebody that just theorized it. I'm not an expert on it. I'm not, you know, a dev or anything like that. So, you know, I could be completely, and probably am completely wrong on that. But in any case, so hopefully you guys won't have any issues. But because I had been looking the morning that this patch came out, because by the time this video gets uploaded, this might actually be tomorrow, because when I upload videos of this length also, which I've only done a couple of times, the PlayStation 4 gives me trouble uploading them. So you might get this a day later after I have tested here. But the morning that 121 patch came out, it's very hard to find information that is reliable on that, friends. You can find conflicting ones. Some was saying that the patch wasn't even for black screen and stuff, and I don't want to just bring you any information, because if it's not at least, you know, mostly accurate, what is the point in that? That would just be wasting your time. So I looked all morning, and I found an article that had been uploaded at 7:45 in the morning. And I had made a video on it, and it wasn't very long, and I hadn't decided if I was going to upload it or not. But I had some people that were asking if you know, about the patch coming out, which at the point in that article they were saying it was going to be sometime early this week, but Bethesda was not giving an exact date. Now I see I made it over here, so I'm going to now teleport over and teleport back and see if I can make it. I did have quite a long load screen there, so I thought I might have had infinite load, but it did load me in. But at any rate, and so I had uploaded that video, and right when I did, there were two of you at that time, I'm sorry I can't remember who, but I want to thank you, that alerted me that the 121 patch was out. My system hadn't alerted me, so I had to manually check for the update. And then I tried to just get a quick one up, letting the rest of you know that patch was out and that I was going to be testing it. And that's why that video was deleted. And why I put don't comment on there, because your comments with issues and all that would be get deleted. And for the one of you that said you're going to comment anyways, well, yeah, you were able to comment anyways, and I deleted it anyways, so I guess we're both at an impasse. But I ended up deleting that video and not even uploading it, because then that patch came out, so I got stuck because of my teleport. But at any rate, and yeah, I teleported because I couldn't jump out of the water and I was too lazy to go around. So yes, I teleported out of there. But I ended up deleting that video and putting this new one up. That was temporary, and now this one will be going up in its place. I intend to try to cover also, not in this damn amount of length here, but just some of what you guys have been typing with, things that have been going on with this patch, issues that you've come across, issues that I've come across, whatever future ones I do and stuff. We've got about 4 minutes left now that this video has got to go, so I can't, wrap up too much more here. But in any case, so that will be in a different video. But the article was stating that the patch was being released for PS4 and PS5, so I didn't even know at that point if you Xbox users were going to be getting the same patch, if it was going to be pushed back. I am glad to hear, as long as it doesn't cause you any issues, you guys got it at the same time that us over on this side, on Sony's side, did. But getting back to my original point of people covering this, I really didn't get to check YouTube that much. I was too busy trying to track stuff down in the web, and Bethesda is being very tight-lipped about all this bullshit. I couldn't find hardly anything from them, only kind of finding it through other sources like pushsquare.com and those websites that I've mentioned, that they somehow was able to get some information, which was, well, we're releasing a patch sometime soon, but we can't give you a time when, kind of stuff. But it did have some good information in there. Like, for example, some of you who were getting issues after completing the Civil War quest line, it was setting off the black screen bug constantly. So that was something I found out in those. But again, information is, scarce out there, and the YouTube channels, I don't think there were very many. I couldn't be the only one. I'm not trying to claim I am, but I don't think there were very many that was covering it, for the fact that Xbox users were coming to a PlayStation user for their information. And I hope I was able to help you, friends. I tried the best that I could. But my question in this, and something that I stated in the comment, is where were the real Skyrim channels, the big ones that cover this, professionally? Here's something I want to point out real quick. Somebody in the comments, you were having issues. I was trying to think of this. You were having issues with sound, with either music or like the water. Now, as you've heard in the video all along, I have music. It doesn't play all the time. It never has, but I have it. And I do have sound water, the water here. The last few things I was going to test was on my initial testing of 1.21. The waterfall in Dragonblood Castle, which is a modded player home, didn't make any sound. And so I wanted to go back after checking to see if this was making sound, which it is. If that one was. I don't remember. Maybe it never made sound and I just didn't notice, but I would have thought I noticed, because I noticed right away after 121. So I'm thinking the patch caused that, but I can't say for certain. But no, I want to know where the big Skyrim channels were that should have been warning people about this, because as much as I was getting in the comment section, this couldn't have been isolated that, a lot of people didn't know about it. Hell, this, 0KB, something that I didn't know about, I, now know of because of this. And so, one channel, which I mentioned before, and I'm not going to mention their name, it's not right to do so because I'm not trying to throw shade on them, but I just wonder why they were covering Anniversary and what you were getting with it and stuff, but they made no mention that there were issues at all, that there were issues with Anniversary, with Special Edition, nothing like that. And we're actually recommending people to get Anniversary. Here I am just checking to see if there's any sound up here, and there is when I'm splashing, so I don't exactly know what caused it, but we've only got about a minute left, so I'm just going to wrap this up real quick with, but they weren't warning anybody, so that's kind of why I've been keeping on this, trying to help you guys out as much as I can, because I don't know how much help you are getting. I am sorry for the length of this video. It's getting ready to wrap up. If you made it all the way to this point, I hope that this was helpful. I don't know how much help it was going to be. I don't know how entertaining it was. Probably not much. I'm not going to do this often. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you if you watched part of it, which if you didn't see this part, well, you're not going to hear that. But thank you anyways, friends. I will continue to try to help you, comment, and I will be there for you as best I can. Take care, everybody. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.